The free hit template's looking a little bit boring. Let's see a differential free hit draft. Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. We've got to pick out some differentials because so many of us are free hitting. It's a little bit boring if we all have the same team, isn't it? So how can we get some marginal gains? Well, there's plenty of players I think we can look at from these 8 teams, and it ain't necessarily going to be a boring, low-scoring week. Straight off the bat, I look at it and go, from those 8 teams, how many get clean sheets? I don't think many. So that's bad if you're picking defenders. Great if you're picking attackers. If you don't see clean sheets, where are all the goals and assists coming from? They ain't all coming from the template players. I promise you that. So let's have a look at my differential draft and then we'll compare it to a template looking team as well, shall we? So look, before we see the team, if we fancy hitting that like button, but also subscribing to the channel, that would be amazing. So in goal, I've gone for Trafford. You might be like, why would you back the Burnley defence? Burnley defence are the weakest defence of all 8, alongside Luton. Well, I can't predict a clean sheet, so I don't know what goalkeeper to pick. I might as well pick the guy who's going to get a ton of save points, right? He's going to be busy. We know he's going to be busy. So he could get save points, he could get bonus points. So look, Trafford for me, I quite like. Now, sure, I'm going to have Brentford attack covered, and they're probably not both going to win out, but this is a little bit in a way of hedging. On my bench, I've gone Kaminsky. He might be more popular than Trafford. I think both are very good options. And I'm likely in my actual team to start with one of these goalkeepers. But this, remember, is my differential draft. At the back, we're going to go back 3. Every team this week should have no more than 3 defenders in the outfield. Just don't do it. Because they just don't come with the same upside. And clean sheets, so difficult. So Udogie, for me, is being massively overlooked. Porro, sure, I get it. He has a little bit more assist threat. A little bit more, because he's on some of the set pieces. But in terms of average position, I like Udogie. In terms of open play goal threat, Udogie, for sure. Consider Udogie on your free hit draft. Williams at Forest. Well, Williams is playing in a Forest defence, which is really good. When we rank the 6 teams, and I did this on yesterday's video, we rank the 6 teams for their defensive stats, the expected goals conceded in the last 6 matches. Nottingham Forest, their XGC is 8.32. That is the best of all 8 teams. So if Forest are the best of all 8 teams, defensively in the last 6, should we not be picking one of their defenders? I think there's an argument for it. And actually, I like Nico Williams. He's been under Nuno. He's been playing every minute pretty much. He plays as a fullback. He gets into some advanced positions. Williams, for sure, is a good pick. And then outside of that, I look at Brentford and I go, we know how Brentford play with wing backs. Reguilon will be in the template team. What about Roslev on the other side? Very similar average position. So look, that's my back 3 with Trafford in goal. And then in midfield is where it gets really, really spicy. We're going to kick things off back with Nottingham Forest. Let's look at the average position map for Nottingham Forest, shall we? Look at them at the weekend. Now, look, the front 3 is so hard to predict. We've seen Origi playing on the right in the last 2, but then down the middle, we've seen Gibbs-White, and before that, we saw Elanga down the middle. On the left, we've seen there Chris Wood, and before that, Hudson-Odoi. I can't tell you from all those names just mentioned who's going to play where and who's going to start, but only 3 or 4 of them will start from those 6-7 names. Gibbs-White is the one absolutely nailed to start. He plays 90 every week. He's on pens. He might even play in this advanced position where he played last time out. Gibbs-White is a lock on my free hit. And of course, he's in this differential team. In fact, on this differential team, we're going to go Gibbs-White captain. All right. Who else do we pick? Well, we've got to go for a Spurs mid. We've got to go for a Spurs mid that's not Son or Maddison. So for me, it's Kulusevski. Again, you guys know I love an average position. He's always the highest up. He's always furthest. Like, for all the midfielders, he's usually the most advanced. He doesn't do much defending, and he finds himself in good positions. He's got some good points this season too. I think he's outscored Maddison, albeit I think he's played a few more minutes than Maddison. But Kulu's been really, really useful. So we like Kulusevski as a bit of a punt against Fulham. This draft's not going to include 3 Spurs, though. Because I think going to Craven Cottage is difficult. When do you see teams go to Craven Cottage and batter Fulham? You don't. So I'm not sure Spurs do, and therefore I think 2 maybe is fine on this free hit. Speaking of which, let's go for a Fulham midfielder, shall we? Instead of a Spurs mid, like a second Spurs mid, let's go for Willian. Willian's back in action. Question mark over if he starts. I think he does, because Fulham lost last time out and Harry Wilson came off about an hour in. I don't think Harry Wilson starts. I think it's Willian. And it will only be one of the two. The way Fulham play, Andreas will start, Iwobi will start, Muniz or Broja, one of the forwards starts, and then it's a wide man. So is it Adama Traore, is it Willian, is it Wilson? Let's go for a punt on Willian, because he's arguably been Fulham's best player this season. He's been brilliant. Kudus. We talk about Bowen all the time, and rightly so. He's their best player. But Kudus, just before AFCON, went on an unbelievable run. Since AFCON, we've not seen it. He could very easily return to that. Again, Moyes loves him. He always plays a bit like Bowen. I expect Kudus and Bowen and Antonio, if he plays, to constantly trying to get him behind. Aston Villa play the highest line. There's going to be space for the likes of Kudus to gallop into. Personally, I'll be going Bowen, but I do like Kudus as an option. I really do. Up front, we haven't spoken much about Burnley in attack, have we? And I get it. Like their attacking numbers are underwhelming. Of course they are. But Fofana, off the back of his very well taken goal, could he have some momentum at a home game against a team that will still give you chances in Brentford? So look, let's go for Fofana up there. This front three is a little bit random, but I'm here for it. Let's go Visser, because everyone's going to go Tony. And again, Visser should start, and he has scored. That bicycle kick a couple of weeks ago was brilliant. So look, if we go Fofana, Visser, I feel like we should cover Nottingham and Forest in that third spot. Now, Chris Wood played last time out. If we think Wood's going to start, if not Awoniyi, if not Origi, let's put Chris Wood in. But there's a very good chance we get a sneaky team leak. And if we do, and we hear that someone like Awoniyi's starting or Wood's starting, then I think we can risk that. I think it's a little bit of fun. And again, I look at that Forest attacking lineup and go, they're going to score goals against Luton. Now, you might, if Adebayo, for example, was available, go, he could be a nice differential. Because, everyone's going to have Morris, right? You'd think. So, look, that's where I'm at with my 11. On the bench, we've said Kaminsky. I think Soufal at West Ham. Again, you get a bit of upside. Tielemans could be a pick. Why not? With no McGinn, there'll be more pressure on Tielemans to be that kind of chief box-to-box number 8 in the team. And then Matty Cash. Again, we'll all talk about the left-backs at Villa, whether it's Moreno or Dean. If Cash starts, he's a good source of points when he plays as a wing-back. We don't know how Villa will set up. Last time they played with a back 5 and wing-backs, but historically they played with a 4, and one of the full-backs bombs on and the other one tucks in. That could see Konza right back, or it could see Cash right back. So look, there's my differential team. Shall we compare it, though, to a template team? Because I like this differential team. And there's a few players in the differential team, like Gibbs-White, that are an absolute lock in my actual team. Now, I'm going to show my actual team in the team selection video later in the week. But let's just compare it to a template team. So straight away, before we see the template team, let's just go through the numbers, shall we? The team we've just seen, the differential team, has 2 Spurs. The template team has 3, right? So it's heavier on Spurs. The team I've just shown has 2 Brentford. Well, it's now got 3 Brentford if you go by the template. The team I've just showed, this is just the 11, by the way. In the 11, I went with no Aston Villa. Well, the template 11 is going to have 2 Aston Villa. It will have Watkins and a defender. Luton, the team I've just shown has no Luton. The template team, I think, will have a couple. The team I've just shown, the differential team, has a West Ham player, as will the template team. It'll just be Kudus or Bowen. But then the differential team has 2 Burnley players versus the template team that has no Burnley. And the template team also had no Fulham. Yet my differential team had a Fulham mid in there in Willian. So what we see from the differential team straight away is it's a little bit more varied, and it doesn't back Villa. It doesn't back Luton, but it goes bigger on the likes of Fulham and Burnley, right? And when we look at the attacking and defensive data, which I showed you in a video earlier this week, we can see, let's just very quickly run through the best attacks and the best defences. Well, in the last 6 matches, the expected goals, Villa, Spurs, Fulham and Luton are the strongest 4 teams, playing of the 8. The weakest attacks are Burnley and Brentford, but players like Tony and then West Ham and Bowen have to be considered despite the teams they're playing in. When we look at the best defences, it's Forest. And then Spurs, Fulham, Villa. They're the best 4. The defences, really, you shouldn't be backing at all ever for a clean sheet, are Burnley and Luton. And to some extent, West Ham. So, template team, here we go. Let's have a look at it, shall we? I mean, it's a good team, and there's many of these players will be in my actual team, but this will not be my actual team. It has double Brentford defence. It's Flecken with Reguilon. Doughty and Porro alongside. They are 3 defenders with great upside, and that's how you should be picking your defenders. Bowen, Maddison, Son, but then Douglas Luiz, who I don't like, and yes, you get set pieces, but that is it, I think, because he's going to play deeper. The Aston Villa average position map does not fill me with confidence for Douglas Luiz. Now McGinn is out, as well as Kamara. DM will all be Douglas Luiz. Up front, Tony, Morris, Watkins. I think we're going to see a lot of that front 3. On the bench, Areola will be popular. Elanga might be, but it might be a Hudson-Odoi or a Gibbs-White there. Elanga didn't start last time out. Soufal and Konza. Konza could easily be Pau Torres, but with his injuries, you might just go Konza for the safer bet. So look, that's the template team. Let me know which team you prefer. I'm guessing many on free hit are going to go for a hybrid of the 2, which is lovely. If you've got any differentials or template players you think I've missed, please do drop a comment, by the way. I look forward to seeing your drafts as well, and I can't wait to show you mine. I can't wait to show you my draft in the team selection video. I'll also be doing a live, which will be out on Friday, but I'll also be doing a live on Saturday morning as well. Guys, one request from me. 3 requests. Getting greedy. Request number 1, if you fancy hitting the like button, that'd be awesome. Thank you for always liking the videos, guys. Request number 2, if you're subscribed, brilliant, but hit that little alarm bell, the notification bell, so you know when I go live and when my videos are out. So click the subscribe and the bell. And request number 3, if you fancy joining as a channel member, you get access to my WhatsApp group if you're an Ultras member, extra content for squad and Ultras members. Just click the word join below. But most importantly, guys, I can't get back to every single comment. I get back to the vast majority. But if you're a channel member, whether it's a live or a preloaded video, any comments you have, I'll always get back to you. So get your questions in. Guys, thank you so much. As always, I'll see you later in the week for my team selection. Bye-bye.